This is the Rebel Scum Podcast. Available in video on YouTube and audio wherever you listen to your podcasts. Every week, Brock and James talk the latest rumors, news, and theories from a galaxy far, far away. Support us on Patreon for exclusive offers and join the Star Wars discussion. Patreon.com/RebelScumPodcast. Here are your hosts, Brock and James.
You're always scum. Rebel scum.
Big guys now. Shit got real. It's been a while.
It's been a while. That's a song.
It's been a while.
Who sings this song? Is it Nickelback? I feel like it's a Nickelback song.
No.
Damn it.
What were they called? The lead singer is now a country singer.
Hootie? Not Hootie. Hootie's great though. Oh, about to be Hootie. By the way, so we had your bachelor party, bro. Congratulations on getting married. I don't know if you want to talk. We won't go into details. But you promised me a Star Wars video game, and I was not given a Star Wars video game at all.
Yeah, there was no Star Wars video game.
So
annoying.
This podcast is over.
We went to a barcade. It was good times. For you that don't understand, that's a bar that's also an arcade.
I've never been there, obviously. Like, you've been there plenty of times. I've never been there. I was ecstatic when I walked in and I saw Donkey Kong, Ladybug, Zaxxon. I was like, if you're not 40, I don't know how you appreciate half of those games, but I was all in on them. I was like, I made Daryl, our friend Daryl, who's like 12, I made him play Ladybug. He hated his life. And Ladybug, for those that don't know, it's like a better, harder version of Pac-Man. Pac-Man was on Atari, obviously, but Ladybug was on Atari and Television, ColecoVision. It was on all of them. I think it was arcade also. And it is the best game because it's... And anyway, but no Star Wars. We'll let that slide. There was WWF WrestleMania, like 91. Moonwalker,
the Michael Jackson. Several people played that game.
Yes, yeah, it was hard not to. It was hard not to. But anyway, I just wanted to bring that up. That we could have been talking about a Star Wars retro video game right now, but instead we'll talk about Battlefront 2 again.
I feel like there was a Star Wars video game I was thinking about. Anyways, I'm not gonna lie to you. I might buy this Lego Star Wars game that everyone's talking about.
It's the Skywalker Saga that apparently is going to come out at some point. Yeah.
No, there's like a mobile Lego one coming out now too. Apparently, so I was just like, I can't talk about Lego constantly.
I'm not a huge Lego guy. Daryl, our friend, he got me for my birthday a few years ago the Force Awakens Lego. It was fun. Not a big Lego. I can't build Lego. I'm always like, just show me when it's complete. Rather just buy a toy. But anyway, but my nephew, I know kids love Lego. My nephew's he's like, let's play Lego. I'm like, I just don't want to. Like, I'm 40. I just don't want to build. But I'm really excited. I wasn't like crazy with the holiday special, but the new Halloween Star Wars Lego on Disney Plus, I'm so excited because, maybe I'll watch it with my niece and nephew. But like, it's just the fact that Star Wars is allowing this to happen. They're allowing like another holiday special with Lego. That excites me. That at least Lego has the opportunity to kind of like break canon and have fun with the IP. And I'm really, the poster looked great. The idea is great. I hope they continue these.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been gone a few weeks, so it's like, I think last week or the week before there was no Bad Batch, so it's just like, oh god, there's no Star Wars to watch on Disney Plus.
I was the same way.
What If? Fantastic show.
Yeah, you told me to watch it. I will watch that. I'm oh my god, I'm not even in the shot. Hold on, let me get
perfect.
I will watch that. I'm on episode 4 or 3 or 5 of Ted Lasso. So I'm like, I'm a one show at a time. As I get older, I'm a one show at a time kind of guy. I can't multitask on TV shows. I can't tell you what's been happening on Jersey Shore, but I can't I don't know what's wrong with me. Also, we've had the summertime discussion where now it's getting cooler out, so I'm like, well, no, maybe I can see. Like Ted Lasso, I watched in the I think it was Sunday morning. I watched that because it was cool. I went for a little walk. I got back. I'm like, well, I think I deserve some TV time, and I put that on. So Bad Batch is coming. Promise.
Nice.
Maybe not.
Yeah. So, I guess. Oh, Visions. Visions is what comes next. So that's end of this month, I believe. September 22nd. So we will have some Disney or some Star Wars content coming on. Oh, by the way, this is the Rebel Scum podcast. I'm Brock. He's
Brock. James.
There can only be one.
What if we were both named Brock?
We do Star Wars here. What is new in Star Wars, James? I don't even know. What is that? Oh,
it's Millennium Falcon.
Millennium Falcon. X-Wing. I was at... Here's a Star Wars thing. I was at Swarovski...
Crystals?
Jewelry, crystals, whatever it is buying some jewelry for Reham for the wedding. And they had, as you know, if you've ever been to Swarovski's, they have jewelry and they also have crystal sculptures.
Yeah.
Usually like a parrot or a duck. There was Superman and Batman, but just above it was Star Wars. Han, Luke, Leia, Vader, the Falcon. I think there was a Death Star and an X-Wing. Yoda. But here's the thing that topped it all, James, that I almost... went crazy.
Watto!
You can get a crystal wicket.
Oh,
it's 225
all in
Canadian.
Yeah, and you didn't get it.
I did not get it. I was just like, wow.
That's disappointing that you didn't get it. I was at Pandora, not buying. No, I wasn't buying anything. Aaron bought something for a friend there at the Pandora store, and they have a Star Wars section in Pandora. So if you have a charm bracelet, you can charm it up with Star Wars.
Yeah.
They had one. I don't even know what one of them was. I don't want to put it down, but I didn't know what it was supposed to be. I looked at this and said, I don't know what that is, but you got to rethink your mold on this one because it didn't turn out whatever it was. They had a Princess Jasmine one that looked spot on, which is impressive because it's tiny. But the Star, I don't know. There was a Star Wars one. I mean, there was a Falcon. I don't even look at it, but there was a Falcon and then one, like I said, Brock. Don't know what it was. It's good to be back doing this podcast, though. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Merry Christmas. Yeah, so that was interesting. I was like, oh my gosh. There's always this is the problem I always encounter with this podcast is like
me.
Yeah. Like you send me something and I forget about it. People send me things and I'm like, oh yeah, I should talk about that on the thing. But what's new in Star Wars? What's on the plan for today's episode?
Okay. So Obi-Wan reportedly has either wrapped production or very close to wrapping. And there's just like one location to go somewhere. Andor apparently has wrapped production, and also I don't know if you remember way back. I think it was like February. J.D. Dillard was hired. Was somebody I think from one of the Marvel shows was hired to do a Star Wars movie. J.D. Dillard did Slight, really good movie. You gotta watch Slight. It's Bloomhouse, but it's not really a horror movie. It's like there's a couple parts that you're like, ugh, but it's kind of like a real world Iron Man type movie. You should check it out. It's on Netflix. Check out Slight. But they were hired to do a Star Wars movie, and then that couldn't have been February. Whatever remember that thing when they announced maybe it was 2 Februarys ago. It might have been a long time ago. I don't even freaking COVID. I have no idea what's going on. It might have been before COVID. Anyway, they did the Lucasfilm shareholder thing, the Disney shareholder thing. They didn't announce that movie or show whatsoever. Now some outlets are reporting that they might have turned that movie idea into a TV show, and some are even speculating that could be a Finn-centric Disney Plus series. So that's all we got.
Interesting.
So there's no news. There's just like maybe. Danny DeVito is writing a Penguin comic for the 80th anniversary of the Penguin. That's happening. Danny DeVito is writing a Penguin comic.
Hold that thought real quick. Keep recording. Just want to. I thought I heard somebody upstairs. I don't know if they came and looked at this house or not. So hold that thought.
Wait. Okay.
See, I'm down with that. Like, I think Danny DeVito, like, there are times where you're like, is he one of those guys that needs to get canceled? But I'm like, no, I think he understands who he is and what his brand is. So, yeah, like, a return to the Penguin, like, yeah, why not?
Just in the comic book form. But I got something else from Bespin Bulletin while we were recording this. They just posted it. It's from Star Wars Newsnet. So, by way, Bespin Bulletin, by way of Star Wars Newsnet, is reporting a small, like a tiny synopsis of the Boba Fett, Book of Boba Fett series on Disney+. Apparently there's a theory, but apparently this theory is pretty accurate. It has to do with Boba Fett will be on a revenge mission. So it's about Boba Fett will be looking for individuals who have wronged him in the past, including other bounty hunters. I heard a rumor that Cad Bane will be making his live-action debut in this, which would make sense. He could be going after Cad Bane. He could be going after Bosk. He could be going after who doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. But they don't do anything. They don't do anything. So they could be like, well, this guy, he wronged him. Okay, whatever, because he doesn't do anything. Then it's true. Like we get it. Well, I don't know. Well, you do know because he does nothing. Like literally, I know you love Bosk Brock, but what does he do? He stands in a hallway. It just looks cool. And you're like, all right, I'm all in on Bosk. Well, they could throw him in this. Maybe he teams up with Bosk. And they're saying that he also gets a brand new paint job. Or no, wait. He's gonna have new armor, which is kind of strange. And this thing of like Boba Fett is basically just a piece of armor anyway. But now they're gonna change it. This article from Best and Bolton is, which could be by way of Star Wars Newsnet, thinks it's a smart idea from a marketing perspective, which they might be right, because Boba Fett will always be Boba Fett, but now if you give a new Boba Fett, all of a sudden my 3 die-cast metal Boba Fett's here, not going to get a 4th, even though the Disney store is closed down. I don't know where I'd get it, but I'm sure I would figure that out.
Yeah, that is true, because it's like, especially since like they kind of repainted him.
Yes, this article mentions
that. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know if they should do that immediately, but I mean, they're whatever. Who knows? Yeah, like it's kind of crazy to think like a Book of Boba Fett, we might see Boba Fett's face on a regular basis. Like, I mean, I'm sure we said it when it happens, when we see Tamora Morrison as Boba Fett. It's just like, it is kind of trippy that like up until now we were like, Boba Fett, you never see his face, and you're like, well, Tamora Morrison's in it, so like
that was
like, well,
that was the first time in live action we saw Boba Fett's face when he's not a child. I mean, obviously we see him as a child, exactly. But yeah, so yeah, I'm curious what's going. We know Fennec Shand is obviously a part of it, but yeah, I'm curious. Like, okay, he's on revenge missions. That's cool. I hope it's not. I do get a little fearful when I hear that in that. No, I shouldn't say that, because I feel like this could just be a side story, fun spin-off show that really doesn't culminate in much other than just have a good time and watch Boba Fett kick some ass.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, I feel like, is that not a given of what a Boba Fett show would be anyways? Like,
yeah, but I think the world we live in now, you know, you watch WandaVision. I'm going to use WandaVision as an example because I watched that, you watched that. The world watched WandaVision. And every week was that Mephisto? And like, we live in this world where it's never enough. And basically because of the Marvel movies, everything needs to connect to everything now. That if that's what the Boba Fett show is it going to be satisfying enough? And I'm just going to generalize that for anybody. Is it going to be satisfying? Like, we could say, yeah, and then we watch it, we're like, you know, it might have been better if... And and we go down the same rabbit hole because we live in the world, right? We're WandaVision. Oh, he's Ralph Boner. Like we're so hyper focused on how does this connect to that.
Yeah.
So is a Boba Fett is a fun Boba Fett show? I would argue is enough, but in 2021, when everything connects and we've been locked down for a year and a half, is it enough?
Yeah. It's funny when you said like he's going out for revenge. It's like revenge for what though? It's like we haven't really established who Boba Fett is post Sarlacc pit, right? And he gave off in the Mandalorian sort of a vibe of like I'm a different man now because I survived or whatever, or I don't know, but like we don't know his story because it's like we end the Mandalorian with him like killing God, what's the character name from
Bib Fortuna?
Bib Fortuna, thank you.
Bibby
Fortuna,
Forts.
and taking over, or we assume, Jabba's palace and probably his empire or whatever you would call it.
What if that's where the show
like,
ends?
Ooh, I love that. I think that's all a great idea. I don't know. Yeah, like yeah. Imagine the Book of Boba Fett is him not like maybe you see him escaping the Sarlacc pit, and then it's just the journey to get to meeting up with the Mandalorian, and then getting his armor back. Like the storyline is totally different. It doesn't have to be just around the fact like I want my armor back, but like that would be interesting because I think we're all I don't know what to expect. I think that's what I like about this show is like there's a lot of different opportunities.
One thing that this article that leaps out to me is it's getting closer to release date. I think it's still December. They haven't said when, but I think it's December. November 12th is like the big Disney showcase thing, so I think we're going to hear a lot of dates on that day. Also, the new Home Alone movie drops that day. But what really jumps out at me though is I'm a little bit nervous at those leaks and the spoilers that are going to come with it because Mandalorian season 2, Timothy Olyphant's in it, and he's wearing Boba Fett armor. And then we watch the show, and right away there's Timothy Olyphant, and he's in Boba Fett armor. And you're like, okay, really getting, and they said you hear. I mean, it didn't necessarily spoil anything. I mean, maybe Boba Fett armor is kind of a spoiler, but it didn't spoil too much. But it's enough that and I think you said this when Michael Biehn appeared. You're like, like okay, we knew that was coming. It's not. There's nothing special because and I know you don't believe anything is leaked, so I'm hoping that that they also believe that that they stopped the leaking.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just.
I hope Disney stops the leaking. Just log it down, man. We're all in on this, Brock. We're all in. It's like the Spider-Man trailer. We were all in on Spider-Man No Way Home. That's why I had 355 million downloads in 24. Because we're all in. We don't need to see anything. Okay, doggone great. We know that what we want is coming. We're good. No one needs to see any more of that thing. You know what I mean? The Star Wars shows, the Mandalorian, Boba Fett, that world we're in. We're coming for it. We're here to watch you. It's like the Marvel. We don't care. I don't need a Hawkeye trailer. I mean, I'm probably not gonna watch it. But we're in the Hawkeye trailer. We're all gonna watch it. It's gonna have, it'll probably have the highest ratings for a Disney Plus show when it drops because that's what the Marvel shows do. Just don't spoil it for me. I don't care. I don't want to know. I don't want to know anymore.
I think it's gonna come Fast Too Furious.
Ooh.
I think I don't know. Maybe Disney's just there's no rush. I don't think Disney stock is in danger at all. So yeah. Funny enough, I have been watching the Fast and Furious.
So you mentioned that.
And it's weird seeing a younger version of
everyone.
No.
Vin Diesel.
Cara Dune, Gina Carano.
Oh, because she's in.
She's in the 6th one.
She in 1 or 2 of them.
One, because she dies in the
She
first one.
dies,
She's
right.
like a henchman.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything.
No, especially in the fast. Well, yeah. But so it's just like, oh, there she is. I'm like, ah. And it's like this. I think that was one of her breakout roles into being like, oh, we can put her in movies, and I think then she did Deadpool next or whatever. So it's just like, well, there she is. But yeah, I need to get back into High Republic. I just haven't had time to read because I'm like, I still am jazzed about what's happening in that. I've been ignoring it. Have you talked to Andrew about it? I'm sure he's done reviews.
He did a review. I don't watch his reviews on that because I don't want to watch them. Just because I haven't read them and I haven't decided if I'm going to or not. And again, it's not because I don't like the Republic. It's just because I'm not sure. Well, I probably will read them. It's just a matter of I want to read them, and when I do, I will. But right now, I don't, and I don't want it to be ruined because part of the reason why I haven't watched the Marvel shows, like I told you, is because I wake up Wednesday morning, Friday morning, whatever it was, and I go on the twits, and the twit tells me word for word what happened in the episode, so I already know. Like you guys were talking about the show on one of the shows on the weekend, and I was like, I'm totally in on this conversation because I read a tweet, so I know everything you're talking about. Like, and that's I don't want my High Republic experience to be ruined because you've spoken highly of it, and you've spoken pretty highly of it. Crybaby fanboys have not. They also haven't read it. I know some people are like, it's okay. I have heard that from a few people, like it's okay. Which I don't know, Bragg. For me, like just okay seems to be like where my Star Wars books usually lie. So I might be okay with that. I will read it though. But anyway, sorry, no.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to get back. I just like I like trying new things in Star Wars. So yeah. It says here Finn show happening. Is there an actual Finn
the Finn
show?
Disney Plus series? The J.D. Dillard might. There's a lot of rumors that this Finn series. There's a lot of rumors that this Finn series is happening. You know, I said on a podcast 4 or 5 years ago now with Manny. I didn't need Finn. I just think I said it to you too. I don't need Finn to be force sensitive. Han Solo wasn't like it's just I didn't need him to be. Yeah, he ended up being force sensitive. They went that direction. They don't expand on it or do anything with it. It's just kind of a thing. And then you can't complain about that because really Leia, you know, with Return of the Jedi, they didn't really do anything with that. So you can't really complain about it. But there's a way, I guess, if Boyega was willing to come back, and you know they mend ties with Disney and then Lucasfilm, maybe he can come back and maybe they can explore and expand on that aspect of him.
Yeah, no, I think it'd be good. Like, there was so many things they kind of set up, especially in the last movie, where it's just like, oh, that'd be cool to explore, and like they are never coming back. I'm like, oh, like, shoot. So, I'd be all for it, I suppose. But
it's funny how, you know, the Rise of Skywalker sets things up. You're like, yeah, we're never gonna get that. But then Endgame ends, and they're like, well, that didn't get concluded. That didn't get concluded. Thor is with the guy. What the hell? That's not like all. Yeah. And we're all like, that's fine. That's fine. We'll see you in a couple of years because we'll it's the vibe and the I think it's the pure planning of it. Like Marvel was like, we're gonna end it like this, and even if they're like, you got to end it like this because we need this to happen, or they just like this is the natural spot for it to end. And then everyone at Marvel's like, okay, well, here's the progression of that. We're moving forward with it. Star Wars just doesn't seem to have that foresight in them at all. Like, a friend was asking me about, you know, who would you cast Elijah Wood as in Star Wars? Which was a weird random question. Oh, yeah, I saw that. Oh, was it a thing? Was this a thing?
No, I think I just saw an article that said Elijah Wood would love to work in a Star Wars film or a Marvel film. I'm like, yeah, no shit.
I know, like, no one's going to say no. But so he asked me, and I was like, he goes, who would you like to see him play? I'm like, well, that's kind of dumb. They would probably, like, you'd make up a character. It's not like Marvel where you have, you know, a catalog of characters to choose from. It's Star Wars. It's like, they're kind of made up on the fly. And they goes, well, what about a young Palpatine show? I was like, I know exactly, but then I said, you know what? Star Wars just doesn't have the kind of plan. Like they're not like, if they're going to do that, I feel like it would already be in the planning. Like they would already be figuring how to connect it. Which I gotta say, again, went on Twitter, saw Bad Batch finale. They send the Chameleonian over to Shiva P because they need him for something, and I'm like, that's great. They're working in reverse, which is great, but hopefully this course corrects their continuity issues that they have. I just, again, this comes from what we said earlier. It's just, we live in a world where everything needs to connect. Otherwise, we're going to say that Peter Parker's Mephisto.
He is Mephisto. Why are you fighting it? Mephisto is the most bestest character in Marvel history. Mephisto.
Top 3 favorite Mephisto moments. When Mephisto was Mephisto, when Mephisto came to be Mephisto, and when Mephisto.
When Mephisto filed for his taxes, when Mephisto went to Bed Bath & Beyond.
The Mephisto stuff was fun, but at the same time, it still makes no sense because Mephisto's... And this is the same argument I have with when they like, your name, you are the Scarlet Witch. I'm like, that is meaningless. Because Mephisto and Scarlet Witch have never existed in the 10 plus years of these Marvel shows. So they have no weight to them at all. So the Scarlet Witch thing, whatever, that's her name, fine. But Mephisto doesn't exist. And we haven't been given clues to him existing. So why do I... It's like Thanos showing up at the end of Thor, beginning of Infinity War, has weight to it because of Guardians and that little weird tease at the end of the first Avengers movie. You're kind of like, okay, that this is something. Mephisto's, what, because you read a comic and he was in there? No, he doesn't exist. That being said, Doctor Strange is Mephisto.
Yeah.
Like in all the movies.
All of them.
Perfect. Mephisto and the Multiverse of Madness. The Mephistoverse of Madness.
How did we get on Mephisto?
Who cares? Because
I don't know.
Well, you start to. I don't know. We live in a world everything needs to connect, and so then you get Mephisto.
I think with if a young Palpatine, the only way I want to see it is if maybe in the Acolyte show because it links to the High Republic. I'm like, okay, that would be kind of neat to see because we assume that the Acolyte, since it's the last little bit of the High Republic era, there could be some connection that way, and I think that I can get behind. But like there's other villains we can come up with. Like seriously, I think that's what Star Wars needs. They need a new big bad. I would put Kylo Ren on level of Darth Vader, of like the anti-hero, but like you need a new problem in the universe. And like the enemies in High Republic that they've created, the Nihil, and their leader is like I'm not joking. At the end of that book, of the first book, I was like, ooh, this is good, and this is what'll keep me. So they're hitting the nail on the head right there. So it's like, I don't know. Well, we have no clue what the next era of Star Wars is, but like,
you bring up something because I hear a lot of people like when the rumor that Snoke was Plagueis. There was a rumor before The Force Awakens that Snoke was Mephisto Plagueis, and then people said, but that cheapens the first 6 movies. That cheapens Palpatine. And at the time, I think it was kind of like it might, but now we live in this post Infinity Saga world where Thanos was the biggest, baddest villain. He wiped out half the population for 5 years. They obviously fixed it and corrected it. And now we're getting new movies where seemingly there is a bigger, badder bad guy. And I think in Loki, he even says like he's the reason those other movies happen, basically. Haven't seen Loki, but I've seen it enough. But I think that's what's kind of implied there, or maybe just flat out said. And the question, Brock, for you is, having seen it, does that cheapen... Does the idea of a new big, big, big bad cheapen what's come before?
In the Marvel universe, or
Yeah, because we're gonna like compare it to how We're gonna if you say no, then we can say that that Star Wars can do it because Marvel's done. So has this cheapened it at all for you?
But like that's the thing, like Marvel can do it because comics have had several different huge villains throughout the years, and they've brought them back too, of course. Like because that's comics. They've been around for a super long time, and they have to like be churning out stories constantly. Star Wars, it's uncharted territory, in my opinion. Like I guess Thrawn could be considered a pretty big villain. Yeah, I mean, we have in the new canon, like we haven't had that yet. I mean, back in expanding universe, I know the Yuzhan Vong were like a huge source of trouble, right? So like, it would be nice if like the new big bad isn't one person; it's like a group of people.
But what if they do it in a way where the new big bad group person, one person, half a person, whatever, Jar Jar, they do it in a way where they've been around since the beginning. You just haven't, like, well, we were promised of Snoke and ended up fizzling away into poop. Like this promise of this characters have been around for a long time. They've overseen it. Now is the opportunity that they've been waiting for. Do you think that could work, or would that cheapen what had come before with CVP?
I think anything is possible. It's just dependent on how good the story is, right? Like I know that's a sort of a deflection, but it is kind of true because it's just like I know there's probably an example of like the new bad guy showed up because the previous bad guy is gone and now he can rear its ugly head or whatever. I can't think of an example of that. Though I guess it's kind of happening in Marvel. Well, it definitely happens in Marvel, but it's just like the Eternals, their storyline seems to revolve all around like Thanos did this, now they're like whatever, and now there's multiverses or whatever. Like I don't know, that's not really a good example, but it's like yeah, no, I think it can work. I think it's just a matter of the story, right? Like we thought Guardians of the Galaxy was a bad idea, and look how great that turned out to be.
No, you never thought it was a bad idea.
I thought it was a terrible idea.
Because I said, Brock, what is this? And you said, it's a group, there's a talking tree, there's a tree, and there's a talking raccoon, and it's great! And that's what you said to me. I still have the text, probably. I don't know. And I was
I wouldn't have said that. I'd be like, it's a D-level storyline that's like, I guess it's something.
But you were when you texted me, and I could tell in your text that you seemed positive about it. Rob was very down on it.
Maybe at the trailer.
No, it was just before the trailer because I asked you what the hell was going on, and you didn't shy me away from it. You were optimistic. You could try to say you weren't all you want, but at least you could never tell me the odds.
Sir, the possibility of successfully navigating an asteroid field is approximately 3,720 to 1.
Never tell me the odds.
Never Tell Me the Odds, brought to you and me by our Patreons, the wonderful people that we have not celebrated for a few weeks. We apologize for being away, but you're wonderful people. If you want us to be part of this perfectly awesome group, head over to patreon.com/rebelscumpodcast and donate. Contribute in any way you can. We greatly appreciate it. We try our best. Like we're just trying to make the best out of being in a garage and in a basement. Our Patreons are the following wonderful people: Heidi Feder, executive producer; Barry Brophy, Dennis Allen, Andy Kenobi, Mary Kristen Aton, Jeff Wilson, Phil Standifor, Sooner Thrawn, Scott D, Josh Price, Matt W,
Rez, Frank Perkins, Neil Lowry, D, Raven, Spencer, Cosmic Girl 02, Gleek Play 1, Disney Desi, Charlotte, Kayla Davis, Aaron Quinton, Den of Nerds, and the Girls with Sebas.
Thank you to all. You are awesome. Thumbs up.
Our first odd comes from executive producer Heidi Feder. What are the odds that the Bad Batch were cloned from Omega specifically?
That's a good question though. Like I assume she means like directly, like they are.
Yeah, I think so.
Are from that. I think that would be an excellent story plot device. I'm gonna go full Brock on this because it's like it is interesting because like the Bad Batch is like, why would they create these abnormalities, or like they're like, well, we just get, instead of them round soldiers, like, you're very good at this. But does Omega fit into that thought process? We know it's Omega is just a female version of Jango Fett, so like Boba was. I'm gonna go full Brock. I think there's a good point there, and I think it would be worthwhile in the next season because it's like she has this connection with this group. It's like, oh, this makes sense. So full Brock.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go full Brock as well. I don't think they're gonna do it. But I would love it. It kind of changes up. It's like, oh, a clone made from a flawless, untouched clone. That's intriguing. I like it. It kind of connects them even more. So I am full Brock on that one.
I think like there definitely will be an episode where we're talking about why was she created? Why? Outside of what we learned so far. Like there's going to be more to that. I hope. I don't see why you wouldn't go after that, but yeah.
Next, will Finn be a full-blown Jedi at the start of his show? So hypothetically, his show is coming out. When it begins, have we fast-forwarded through time, and is he now a full-blown Jedi Knight like his father before him?
I'm going to go 2% on this. I think going after his Force sensitivity would be a good story, but like you can't be a Jedi right away. Like that's no fun. Like we want to learn. He's sort of the first example of like he doesn't really have the Force, but he's Force sensitive. I mean, it's like Leia, right? But we didn't get to see Leia do that. So why would we stray from seeing what is it like to be like you're kind of a Jedi, but you're kind of not? Yeah.
I like that idea. I'm gonna go 30%. I don't think we're gonna get a Finn show. I think part of the thing with Rey, people say Mary Sue and all that, but I think part of the thing that you like to see is the evolution and the learning and the struggles you have to become that. And so, I think the Mary Sue argument was kind of stupid, but also I understand where people are coming from when, I think that was lost a little bit on the character development for Rey. And it's fun. Like that's part of the journey that you want to go on is when they're struggling to find out who they are. And so I'm going to go 30% because I think Boyega would crush it and stuff like that. And I would. It's a TV show, so you gotta prolong it anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
And our final odd, will at least 3 of the confirmed cast members, the actors in Obi-Wan Kenobi, be playing Inquisitors or some sort of Jedi Hunter in the series? Will at least 3 of the confirmed cast that we've got to be playing Inquisitors or Jedi Hunters in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series?
I'm going to go 80%. Like, yeah, like, do we need a group of characters that are good characters? Can it just be Obi-Wan being Obi-Wan and that's that? So
I hope they're all bad.
3, yeah. Why not? He's a hermit. He doesn't want to be around people. So
even the good people he hates. I'm gonna go 73%. Yeah. I'm down with that too. Make them bad. Make them hunt. Yeah. Because then you have the Inquisitors who are like specifically trained to do what they do, and then you can have some Jedi hunter who's like, yeah, I'm gonna kill a Jedi, and then he goes out there and he's the one that gets killed by an Inquisitor. So I'm down for all that. Whatever. I just want this show to come out. All right, you ready to go to the news?
Let's do it. Hollow news.
Hollow news. Da 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 da. Hollow news. Da 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 da. Hollow da da. You missed the song for 2 weeks. Da 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 da. Hollow That was an organic fade out. I did that myself. My mic's off.
Hollow news, the news you need to know right now. If you have a Oculus, you probably know that Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge is a very fun game to play on it, created by ILM X Lab VR, the company. You could go to the planet, but two and do a whole bunch of fun Star Wars things. Well, there is an expansion out for the game now called Last Call. And not only does it pick up the first game story, there are new twists such as the opportunity to play as one of the most recognizable bounty hunters in Star Wars lore, IG-88. So if you want to go over to their YouTube channel, ILM X Lab, or just type in Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, Last Call, there is a trailer. It is pretty sweet. I wish I had an Oculus Rift. The game will be released September 15th, so go pre-order it. And talking about pre-ordering, well, Star Wars wants your money, and here's a fun new thing to spend money on. There will be Star Wars Disney unveiled a new Halloween themed Star Wars astromech droid that will be available at Disney parks and at shopdisney.com. The new droid's name is R6W1CH, or Witch, and which hails from Dathomir, a world that was notably home to a large group of Force witches. The droid not only sports a red and black paint scheme, not unlike Darth Maul, it also wears a rather trendy witch cap. The new droid is currently available as an action figure at various stores throughout Walt Disney World Resort, and is expected to pop up on the shopdisney.com, online disney.com. There should be a picture there. It's pretty cool. And our final story, as we mentioned, Visions. This new show is coming up soon, but while you're waiting, why don't you announce that you can buy the first official Star Wars Vision apparel, all inspired by the upcoming Disney Plus anime anthology series, and available now on their website. Fifth Son's collection includes stylish graphic tees and hoodies, while a creative range from Rock'em Sock'em socks brings some color to your sock drawer. Each series features heroes and villains from all 9 stories of the Star Wars Visions, including the rock band from Tatooine Rhapsody and the mysterious Ronin from The Duel, each in the aesthetic of the original anime. And the production team at Lucas loved the style of The Duel so much they commissioned Kamikaze Duga character designer Takahashi Okazaki to create designs of Star Wars icons, Darth Vader, Boba Fett, R2-D2, and C-3PO for these collections, even though they do not appear in the series. And this has been your Hollow News.
Ba-dum.
Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of interested in this Vision thing, especially now that we're watching What If right now, and that's kind of like an anthology. So it's just like, yeah, one-offs, hooray!
I love this idea. I wish they would just. There's no harm in it at all, and it's like, hey, let people have fun with this property, like George Lucas did. You just let them have fun. I mean, The Mandalorian is basically that, right? It's like, here's what we did. All right, cool.
First season.
Yeah. So yeah, more, definitely more so that. But yeah, I'm down for it. I want to see what people have to do. It looks wild. It looks like a lot of fun, and it. I hope that's what we get from it. I don't know.
Absolutely.
Star Wars is dead. All right, top 5.
Top 5 standing by.
I have to go for a walk soon, Brock. I have to get in wedding shape for your wedding.
Yeah.
I took all of July and August off of exercising, and if you think that's a joke, I'm not joking at all. I freaking ate like a champ, and I sat on my ass. Top 5 Finn moments.
Yeah.
All right, my number 5. Are you ready for it?
Yep.
Number 5 Finn moment. Ray!
My number 5 is when we all thought he was going to be a Jedi. But turns out that was just a bait and switch.
But then he ended up being one, so no.
Hi.
My number 4, Ray.
Number 4?
No, my real number 4 is Finn and Poe's opening scene together in The Force Awakens. Like, are you a pilot? I'm a pilot. We could do this, and that's I like that moment. That was a good introduction. I mean, we kind of already meet Finn before that, but it was kind of a nice back and forth where we're really like sitting down with these two characters.
My number 4 is from Force Awakens 2. He's like, "Will you use the Force?" It's like, that's not how the Force works.
It was a great moment. My number 3 is when he yells "Ray." No, my number 3 is just when he's a stormtrooper and he takes the helmet off. Because there's one thing I love most in Star Wars. It's when stormtroopers take their helmets off. And Finn, you know what? True story though, I went into The Force Awakens thinking that Kylo Ren would be my favorite, and I came out a huge Finn fan. But the stormtrooper, him just being a stormtrooper, do it.
Yeah. My number 3, I don't want to make this sound like it's all jokey. There are some good, serious Finn points, but I always love him and Rey running through the market of Jakku. And
Yes.
it's like, we gotta go. It's like, let go of my hand. And then like, we need a pilot. We have one. Who? Me. Like, I like the back and forth.
Yeah, The Force Awakens was really good at that. My number 2 was your number.
Like he like gets. When he gets to the market and he dunks his head into the water drop.
And then you see the butthole of the other thing.
Yeah.
And my number 2 is your number. I think it was your number 5. It's Finn when he first ignites the lightsaber. Actually, it wasn't that I thought he was a Jedi at that time. It's just it was the first time we saw a lightsaber ignited in Episode 7. Again, I don't think the sound design was up to snuff on it, but it was a great moment.
My number 2 is going to be him flying one of those rickety ships on Crate
yes.
when they're like, everything seems lost and it's like their last stand, but it's like he's flying and he's surviving, and then of course it's like, oh, he saves Rose, right? I don't know.
Rose saves him. Rose saves him.
Right. So he was gonna sacrifice himself, but it's like I love everything about that scene. So it's like, but he stands out in that as well.
And my number 1 is when BB-8 gives him the thumbs up. It's a great moment. I don't really
Droid, please.
I don't even care. I like that moment. It made me laugh. I think it looks great, and I put it in my number 1 because it's my list, not yours.
My number 1 is in Rise of Skywalker, where he says, "Rey, I have to tell you something," and apparently we find out later he was going to say he's Force sensitive, leaving it open. Like, I think it's kind of good how they left it like that. It's like, oh, we can make more after this. They might not.
I was definitely
perfect, but like one simple line could launch a whole series.
It's true. I was definitely one of the people that had no problem with them not specifically answering that question.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't care. I also didn't have a problem with somehow Palpatine returned, which is like everyone hates it. I understand it's lazy explanation, but it's also not the explanation in the movie. It's just
one honorable mention. I was on the fence of putting this in. I've mentioned it so many times before. The scene where Finn and Rose explain to Poe what they're gonna do in Last Jedi to sneak onto the ship. We'll get in and we'll turn it off, and then we'll get out of here. And you see they go boink. I love it.
That's a good moment also. Big Finn fan. Let us know what your top 5 Finn moments are in the comment down below. Brock, episode 226 next week is your Finn. Last episode I said was 226. Turned out it was 225. This is the real 226 now. This is actual 226. I feel like I should actually go. Hold on. Should I actually find out which one we're on? We're on 226 because next week is the real deal episode, like the one that we've been.
The penultimate episode.
I say next week, but the way we're going, it might be next year. Yeah, this is 226. We're recording 226 right now. 227 is the next episode that's
Next.
going to drop on this channel. You people
Subtitle,
better be ready for it.
Subtitled Jackie on Jakku.
I will tell you that
Jar Jar.
monetization will be off on the next episode. It will be off because we need that quarter. It will be off, and I promise you there will be a good reason for that. We're probably going to start out with the Alvin and the Chipmunks theme song. CHIMPUNK. We're the Chipmunks. That's how I learned how to spell chipmunks.
We're like, oh, Mary. Oh my god. Because the main character, Marla Gibbs, her character's name was Mary. And she, oh man, now I want to watch that show. I can't even tell you what one of the episodes are about, outside of the fact that what's her face is in it. Regina King is like a young actress in it.
Yes, you've mentioned that.
Good times. Is 227 a spin-off of the Jeffersons? No, it is not.
With your family around you, you're never alone. When you know that you're loved, you don't need to roam, 'cause there's no place like home.
They don't make theme songs like they used to, Netflix.
They don't.
Actually,
They really
I do
don't.
enjoy the Ted Lasso song, but that sounds like it's just like a song. But it's kind of got that like it. Ted Lasso sometimes when I watch like, because I've seen so many episodes, it does. Well, I watched one. I'm like, this feels like it's 2001, like the year 2000. Like it felt like it was from that era. Although the one episode directed by Zach Braff was clearly directed by Zach Braff. That was FYI. I watched the movie Percy, Brock. I don't know if you've heard of the movie Percy. It was at one point called Percy versus Goliath. It's starring Christopher Walken and Zach Braff and Christina Ricci, and it's like the most. It's like other than that, it's 1,000% a Canadian movie. It's the weirdest thing ever, and it's about a farmer named Percy in 99 2000 who fought Monsanto in court. And anyway, I won't spoil what happened, but he's in like Manitoba or Saskatchewan. It takes place in like Saskatchewan, and Christina Ricci plays an American who comes down. And she's like, "Hey, yo, you got to fight this, otherwise they're gonna put GMO foods in America, and we don't want that here." And he's like, "I don't want to do it. I'm Christopher Walken from Saskatchewan." And Zach Braff's like, "Yeah, I'm a Saskatchewanian lawyer." Anyway,
I have never heard of it.
It's pretty good. If you like farming, you might want to watch it. But it was just weird that it was Christopher Walken, Christina Ricci, Zach Braff. But when you see the credits, it's like Telefilm Canada, CBC Films, and then you're like the government of Ontario, the government of Quebec, the government of Saskatchewan, the government of. It's like the most Canadian movie I've ever seen, but it stars like 3 big American actors. From the 90s and early 2000s. So there you go. Anyway, Percy, check it out. PERCY. It's on Crave. It's on the Crave TV channel, right? Oh, and Crave is like the production company behind it too. It's like a Crave. It's like
Good for Crave.
It's pure Canadian. But I saw the trailer for it a few months ago anyway. And I said, Erin, you're going to want to watch this movie because she loves gardening. And she's like, oh yeah. And then it came out on Crave. So anyway, watch that. Purely a Canadian movie. But they did it right because it's very American also. So anyway, Percy. Anything else you want to say, Brian?
I will check it out.
Should watch it September 26th.
Yeah, I'm not busy.
I'm not getting vaccinated on the 25th anymore.
Yeah, good. We're both double vaxxed. Hey, did it.
All right, anyway, let's wrap this
right.
up. 226, 227's coming up. Brock says hi. I'm James. He's Brock. Until next time, he was always Scum.
Rebel Scum.
Hey scumbags, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.